After a very long journey of around 2 years, BFDIA is finally reaching its conclusion very soon. A lot has changed since then. Certain characters receive massive popularity boosts, such as the whimsical Nickel and the uncaring Fries. The writers doing everything in their power to make Pin's claim of BFDIA sucking into Patoot seem legit, and the projected winner, Coiny, getting shot in a back alleyway nearby Chelten's Steakhouse on a cold December morning. All of this to say is that BFDIA's Final 3 is certainly different compared to how we all envisioned it back in 2023. And suffice to say, it's not really the best one out there. But that's a video for another time. For now, I want to put our attention onto Needle, a character who I feel has been deserving of the win for a good while now, so long as we kindly ignore Coiny's existence for the time being. Needle has gone through a lot, having been in 5 seasons of BFDI so far. She got eliminated early on in BFDI, placing 19th overall, with her only character trait being slapping people who even dare to call her needy. She received little to no screen time in BFB and continued to receive that same treatment in Teapot until the writers finally decided they wanted to do something with her, only to get eliminated the next episode and pushing that storyline onto Lie. It's safe to say that Needle has never had a good run throughout most of her time on the show, always being pushed to the sidelines and never really having the time to flourish. That's when it all changes though, thanks to BFDIA's sudden revival. From BFDIA 6 to 11, or what I like to call high budget season 1, Needle just sort of existed during this time period. She never really had much of a starring role in any of these episodes other than just talking a lot more frequently. BFDIA 9 is probably her most standout episode yet, but that's only because she was one of the last remaining members of Woe Bunch, and had the little gimmick of having my beautiful King's voice. Judging from the votes, it's clear she wasn't hated or anything, but she certainly wasn't popular either. Probably because she had nothing interesting going on at the moment, until one fateful day. In BFDIA 12, Needle was taken by FreeSmart as a result of them losing Ice Cube this episode, and because of this, Needle's popularity definitely increased. Since FreeSmart is a more screen time balanced team compared to the Coiny and Pin team, Needle was actually able to have a much more standout role compared to her time in Woe Bunch. In this episode alone, there was the introduction of trying to get Pencil's approval to be in the alliance, showing off how good of a challenge performer she is, and her little bomb with Ruby. That's so much more story and dynamic set up in one episode than 9 episodes on Woe Bunch. Things only got better from here, as in BFDIA 14, she has already become close with FreeSmart as they treat her like an actual member. She did her best to help her teammates however she could, such as carrying Pencil at the beginning of the challenge or protecting her teammates from Evil Leafy. Even showed off her amazing singing skills, which people still won't stop talking about. Even at the end of the episode, it looks like she's beginning to get Pencil's approval, something that her 2 closest friends don't really acknowledge. Things seem to go really well for her. Until... in BFDIA 15, despite Needle giving it her all last challenge, Pencil is still not giving her the approval she wants, still denying her as a full-on member. Not helping is that Book is snatched away at the last second, so once again, Needle is left defenseless, unable to explain that she has been trying her best. In BFDIA 16, Woe Bunch is in disarray. After being the largest team, they're now only down to 2 measly members. So in desperation, they call out to Needle to join them once again, only for Pencil to interfere and just start speaking for Needle. So from all the peer pressure, Needle tries to get everyone's approval by joining both teams. That way no one's left behind and no one would feel upset. Unfortunately, this doesn't work out, as this whole instant team switching gimmick is what caused FreeSmart to lose this challenge, and Pin beginning to lose trust in her. By next episode, the pressure only builds up as now everyone is wanting her as a teammate. Due to all this peer pressure, Needle has had it and completely dishes everyone's request and joins Fries' team instead. Unfortunately, this doesn't work out either, as Fries isn't very caring towards her or the challenge at the moment since he's immune, and it's not like he really cares anyways. So instead, Needle is left to do all the heavy lifting, which only leads to her losing again for the 3rd time in a row. And after surviving another close bottom 2 with Nickel, we've now reached a merge where Needle's character truly begins to shine after all this build-up. BFDIA 18 is the start of Needle's arc of winning for herself. Now this whole arc has sparked some slight controversy among fans. Some see it as annoying and repetitive, some see it as pointless as it's the merge, so everyone is fighting for themselves. However, the way I see it is Needle trying to prove something. Proving to herself that she doesn't need anyone's approval, since when you think about it, no one has really respected her throughout the course of the season. During her time in Woe Bunch, she didn't really have that much of an active role, and honestly felt like a third-wheel to Coiny and Pin's friendship, who are supposed to be her closest friends. When Needle was switched over to FreeSmart, Coiny and Pin didn't really do anything to bring her back. Granted, BFDIA 14 and 15 shaked up the game, and 13 was a non-competition episode, but even then, in BFDIA 16, them calling out to Needle feels more like we need you on our team because we're desperate for new members than we want you back, Needle, we miss you so much, please come back. And during the merge, Pin just hated everyone, only focused on winning. while Corny, in Needle's eyes, was just using her as a tool, someone to write off on and use them to win in challenges because she was a part of the bunch. And despite her having a much better time on Free Smart, Pencil's stubbornness on not letting her be a member was only aggravating her more and more each time she was denied, because it seemed like no matter what she did to help out her team, she just didn't get the appreciation for her efforts, always having to fulfill these constant acts to even be considered as a member of the team. And when both friend groups aren't grateful for your presence and only really want you for your skills and strengths, you just end up having enough of that nonsense and you just leave them behind. In BFDI 23, the reasons I just stated are the exact motives of Needle. Needle doesn't want to be someone else's friend or just another ally. She wants to be the winner, to prove the others wrong, that she doesn't need their approval and that she can do it all on her own. But this whole mindset is only really damaging her. She's so busy trying to win for herself that she's really just pushing people away from her, the people who actually do care for her. Her gameplay is also starting to become a lot more sloppy, seeing as she's become more aggressive and a lot more desperate. And at this point, she's probably starting to lose the reason on why she's even doing this in the first place. I think for this whole arc to end in a nice little bow is to have BFDI 24 be a Book and Needle focused episode. Have Book help out Needle in this dilemma in some capacity, so that way I can finally say that Book reaching the final 2 is somewhat worth it. Seeing how Book has been the only person that Needle knows to go out of her way to protect her, continues to try and remain as her friend, and so forth. That's why I think Needle's story is a lot more in-depth than it may seem, and why I feel Needle's whole journey throughout the course of the season of trying to get everyone's approval only to fail left and right deserves to be rewarded. Our girl has been through some rough times throughout the show, especially compared to the other 2 finalists, with Tennis Ball placing 10th in season 1, only getting out through contestant voting, and Book, who's adored by many and is continuing to, mostly, thrive in Teapot along with Tennis Ball. So out of the final 3, Needle's journey just feels a lot more impactful and interesting than what the writers are trying to do with the other 2 finalists. Now, don't get it twisted. It's fine if you want to support either Book or Tennis Ball. I'm just speaking my mind right now. But who knows, maybe this video would change your mind on the matter, and for you to finally see that Needle is the true deserving winner of BFDIA.